What is going on, guys? Matt212 here, and welcome back to the noob journey. Today we are at round 2 in the very wet Belgium today, and joining me in the commentary box today is Matt212. How are you doing today, pal?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, doing fantastic, mate. Glad the noob journey's on in front of my screen, as some nerd has just disqualified himself on coming out the pit somehow. But yeah, well, a very wet Belgium today, Matt. Have you got any experience of driving in the rain round here?
I have had a couple of times, yeah. It's a very, very difficult track in the rain. It's not a particularly safe one to drive in the dry anyway, but yeah, it's even more of a challenge in these tricky changing conditions.
Yeah, definitely, with the whole undulating circuit. It's going to be difficult for these drivers, but we're not quite sure how the weather's going to pan out in the actual race. But I'll now fast forward and pass you over to Pepsi Max to do the quali report.
Welcome to round 2 of the noob journey. This is your qualifying report brought to you by Pepsi Max. We're at Spa-Francorchamps today, and as you can see by the track map, there is some very fast sections followed by some tricky corners, and chuck in these weather conditions that these guys have got to deal with for qualifying. We can expect to see some more cars like Alex Daegu become lawn mowers. So what the drivers have to look out for will be the white lines and the painted curbs. Obviously you don't want to put full power down on the curbs, and always try and put your foot down in a straight line. Don't try and do it coming out of a corner, because you will probably have a one-way ticket to the wall. And try not to drive like you are in the dry. And one corner that I can remember doing in season 1 was Eau Rouge. So some people thought, because Eau Rouge is flat out in the dry, it's flat out in the wet, and it's not. And we all know the famous wall of noobs, and if you go flat out you will hit the wall of noobs. And oh, Charlie, that was a nice little drift around the McLaren. But yeah, so get off the curbs and get off the painted white line. Some people will be better at it than others, and some people will be able to use the curbs. As we can see December here in the Mercedes, he is able to use the curbs. I imagine he's short shifting and applying the power very gently, so he will not have any wheel spin. Also try to be very smooth on the steering inputs. Obviously this may be a bit harder if you are on the pad, but if you're on the wheel, just try and not chuck the car into corners, because as I said before, you will die and you will go into the wall. It's quite nice for me to see some of these noobs in these conditions, because these were some of my favourite conditions for racing in. So it'd be quite nice to see the pecking order for the end result. But yeah, following Unzi here, coming through these fast left-handers, who has taken that very nicely indeed in 6th gear. Okay, he hasn't locked up, so that's the first step, and yeah, he has put the power down very nicely. So these are your qualifying results. I've been Pepsi Max. Goodbye. When it's over, I press rewind. Talking bands, I got it. Benjamins in my pocket. I traded my truth for some. So
we are here for the race around Belgium, and luckily for the drivers it is dry, Matt. So it should be a lot more grip and should be a lot more overtaking on track today.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, some of these guys in the dry, they have a little bit more confidence. They might try and take a few more risks. Obviously the very short run to turn 1, and obviously the long back straight. Yeah,
it's plenty of overtaking opportunities around this track with both DRS zones here. But Matt, I want to get your predictions for the race today. What are you going to say?
I'm gonna say December to win. You know, he's been here before in the noob journey. Okay. I reckon he's gonna win it today. I reckon we'll see an early race bottle from Unzi.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and of course it is his home Grand Prix as well, so he's gonna have the pressure on his shoulders today. So I'm gonna go with Unzi. I don't think he's gonna bottle it. He did really well last week. only just losing out to the Rudsters, who we haven't updated you guys yet. He's decided to leave the noob journey because he does a lot of league racing in the first place, and he's quite quick, so he's sort of just left, which is understandable. And of course we want the most competitive league as we can, and if you're a bit too good, then it sort of shows it. You saw last season with Teak and Diehard, who led a lot in the first 2 races. But Matt, what are we thinking about strategy today? Is it 1 stop, 2 stop?
It should be a 1-stop round here, but obviously it's still looking a little bit overcast around this wonderful circuit, so you know we could potentially see some changing conditions. But yeah, obviously if it's dry, then it should be a fairly textbook 1-stop. Well, unless that is, you know, if you can keep your front wing intact, I think will be the main issue.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping that front wing is key. And of course, they've still got it. If you hit your front wing with reduced damage, it affects the car, which is a bit annoying compared to F1 2016, where you get away with it. But the car's just coming round the bus stop chicane to finish their formation lap. Only 6 people making it. So as you can see on screen, there's still a lot of people on the starting grid. A lot of people disqualified from the formation lap, so usual noob journey antics. But a 13-man grid. A couple of people couldn't make it this evening because of other commitments, so hopefully next week I'll have a bigger grid, but we were just waiting on the last couple of people. There's a space behind the Renault there. I'm not sure who's meant to be there.
It's Rewinds.
Oh, there it is.
Through the
there it is. Right at the back. Oh dear. So he's final car to line up on the grid today. 11 laps round the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I do apologise for any French or Belgian viewers. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Spa. Oh, there we go. I had a little bit of a glitch, but away we go. Unzi gets a great start off the line with a lot of cars in the wall. I think that might be Frobo. He's bottled it yet again around in the noob journey, but Unzi is leading the race with Sesemba in second, Jonesy in third, Overrated Llama in fourth, and the cars coming up are Rouge now. Unzi gets up there nice and cleanly with Ken and Jonesy.
The Renault's binned it, of course, there. He's binned it as he went up a Rouge, as well as the Haas of... I'm not actually too sure who the Haas actually was. That might have been Alex Dagu, if I'm not mistaken there. But they attempted to go side by side up a Rouge. Charlie's gone as well, as he made a bit of contact. That might have actually been with his teammate up the long Kemmel straight there. But yeah, a little bit of carnage in the first sector of the race. But I think apart from that, most of them have come through fairly unscathed.
Yeah, it looks like, and on my screen it looked like Corsa actually took out Charlie coming down the Kemmel Straight. So hopefully we can get clarification after the race about that. But the battle we got to get on board with, Matt, is Overrated Llama and Jonesy going through the big sweeping left-hander there. Overrated Llama is coming back for the first time in a while now. So he's in the Mercedes taking Rudster's place, and Jonesy dropped off a little bit off the back of him there, but he's being pressured by Rewinds now, so you got to be careful. We've got Some Nerd up in 6th place, Alex Dagu, a good start from him in 7th, Corsa all the way down in 8th after finishing P3 around China last week, Faction Parlor in 9th, and Frobo rounds off the top 10, Matt.
Yeah, so overall, those we've actually only got those 10 drivers still in this race. But yeah, I'm quite surprised so far. Jonesy actually making a big mistake through Blanchemont there. Not really too sure what's happened to him. I think Overrated Llama seems to be lagging around just a bit there, which might be a bit off-putting for him. But yeah, oh, he's been taken out of the final corner there. Him and the Toro Rosso of, I think that was Some Nerd, have made that was Rewinds that have made contact there. And that has cost Toby half his front wing. Not really too sure how much damage the Toro Rosso has got there, but even more carnage. And we've barely finished the first lap of the race.
Yeah, that's the noob journey for you, Matt. Carnage on every single lap. And there is a force injure in the wall. Is that God's? Yeah, God looks to be stationary on track. He's had some internet issues over the last couple of weeks, so it doesn't surprise me. But let's get back on board with the leader, Unzi, coming into sector number 2. How big of a lead has he got? He's got 3 seconds over Sesemba at his home race. He'll be looking to get a podium today in this race, as long as he doesn't bottle it. But we're not quite sure how the weather's doing. It's still quite overcast on at the track today. Overrated Llama in third. He's 8 seconds behind, but it's been disqualified from the session. Can you see anything on screen, Matt? Has he crashed, or has he taken too many corner cuts?
I think they were both stuck at turn 1, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. I've also just watched Alex Dagu do some pirouettes in the grass, which is quite nice to get a good little view of.
Oh, that's Alex Dagu for you. I think he's the new faction pilot of season 2 and 3. He's been a great laugh to watch, but he's getting better. Compared to his first race in season 2, he's been quite good actually compared to when he started. But some nerd is up in 4th place as Overrated Llama has binned it in sector 3. I've gone the wrong way on my little map, but Overrated Llama's down to 4th place, and some nerd is up into 3rd. He's right at the back in China, but he's had a great start, Matt.
Yeah, it certainly has. You know, he's basically kept it out of carnage at the start of this race. Llama running very, very wide through Blanchemont as well there. But yeah, some nerd doing an absolutely brilliant job in that Red Bull car so far, just keeping it on the track. And sometimes that is just the best thing to do. And I think Llama behind him has dived into the pit lane there. Not too sure what's that all about, whether he's got a drive-through perhaps, or maybe he's just pitted in very, very early in this race. But yeah, Faction and Parler, that moves him up into P5 as well, and I think Jonesy's also dived into the pits, so a couple of guys opting for very, very early pit stops in this race. Not really too sure what their strategy is behind that, to be honest, because it seems a little too early.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's very early to pit, but I guess it's how many laps? It's 8 laps. Could you do 8 laps on soft tyres? It's 25% race. Ooh, maybe you could potentially, but these guys are noobs. They're not fantastic with their strategies and their tyre wear, so they might have to pit again. But Sasemba looks like he's catching Unzi. He's gained half a second on him, so I think it's going to be between the a battle of the pit stops, both on the same tyre, the super soft tyres. So who have we now got? Some nerd is in 3rd. Frobo in 4th after bottling off the start. He smashed into the wall. He hasn't got a full front wing actually, Matt. He's only got half a front wing, but he's continuing to go. I think maybe some of his AOR knowledge is helping him, thinking, well, some of these guys aren't fantastic, so I might be able to make it and pit and fix it when I do my main pit stop. But Faction Pilot up in 5th is nice to see. He has a full front wing, which is few and far between, you know, with front wings in the Noob Journey. Usually most people don't have them. Daegu is somehow in 6th, but he's just been... Oh, his contact with Overrated Llama there, coming off at just before sector 3. Overrated Llama trying to go around the outside of the double right-hander. Doesn't manage to do it there. He's going to try and stick behind him. I think he's going to try and get the slipstream coming down towards the bus-up chicane. Alex Egger's gone wide and he's off. And Overrated Llama takes 6th place off Daegu, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's getting exciting, Matt, at Spa.
Yeah, it's all heating up still in this race. Daegu actually already rejoined the track. Toby behind him, Jonesy, actually had to take a little bit of avoiding action there as well, so that could have ended even worse for Alex Daegu there, but a bit of a costly error in towards the final sector of the lap there. Overrated Llama, quite lucky actually, because he thought about going for a move into that corner, but it was a good job that he didn't opt to go for that. But yeah, I think... at the moment then, I'm not too sure, Sasemba's lost a lot of time to Unzi there. I think we must have missed that. He's dropped about 3 seconds over the last lap there, so a little bit of consistency issues, I think, for both of these drivers at the front. But yeah, I think they're both still, you know, looking good. I think some nerd is making a huge mistake as well behind, but he's 20 seconds back, and he's got Frobo all over the back of him now.
Has he really? Okay, I'll get on board with... Frobo and some nerd as they come through sector 2. This is almost flat these days in these new F1 cars, unlike the reigning qualifying, but some nerd went a bit wide there. I think he might be buckling under the pressure of being on the podium currently, and Frobo's definitely caught up with him very, very quickly, going through the double right-hander. Both stay on track there, looks like, from my camera angle, as Unzi sets a new fastest lap of a 1. Oh, and Frobo's in the wall! Huge crash from Frobo Jobo there, and he's lost a wheel, Matt. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Frobo has bottled it yet again, Matt.
Yeah, this is the racing that we come to see, and an almighty bottle from Frobo there. quite surprised, that didn't seem like any bigger of an accident than we saw Alex Dagu have just one lap before him there, but Frobo will be very, very disappointed with that one. A class bottle from him once again, and obviously that'll give some nerd, a huge relief in relative to the amount of pressure he was about to be facing from the McLaren driver right behind him there. But that means some nerd now has got a 9-second advantage over Faction Impala. So could we see Faction Impala potentially score another podium in the noob journey? He was able to get one back in the pre-season race. I think, that would be one for the books if he was able to get another one, Shu.
Yeah, I would. I'd love to see him on the podium. Maybe one day we'll see him in Tier 1 AOR. Who knows? I think he's only 13, 14, so he's got plenty of years in front of him to get to the top. We might even see him in the esports one day, Matt, maybe, but I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Fracture Pilot up in 4th, and he's gaining ever so slightly on some nerd who is in 3rd place. Overrated Llama down in 5th. Jonesy is in 6th after this front wing damage, so he's going to be a bit behind. Hopefully he can gain back some time on the guys further up. Causa down in 8th place with Dagu in front of him. They're going up Eau Rouge here. Causa should have DRS. Dagu cuts the top of Eau Rouge, but Causa should have DRS now. He does. He's going to go round down the inside. Dagu's holding his line, going towards the next turn. Dagu holds the inside. It breaks way too late, and that's him cutting the chicane massively. Is he going to give the position back to him? Doesn't look like he is, but he would definitely have a penalty for doing that. Causa is still there. Causa's going to run the outside. Can he do it? Dagu's on the grass there. Causa tries to put it the inside of Dagu. Does he pull it off? Dagu's still on the inside, still going, Matt. This is incredible from Dagu, but Dagu's gone off. And he's hit the wall. Oh, no, Dagu. And that's a front wing gone. Oh, and he's doing some pirouettes. Oh, dearie me. Oh, that was going so well for that. So many corners, but yeah, Dagu's bottled it there, Matt, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, he was trying to do everything that he possibly could to keep that Renault behind him, and whether that be, completely straight line the chicane or whatever, to try and keep that Haas car ahead. But I think he's going to lose a position to rewinds here as well, and I don't think Unzi, he's only a few seconds behind these guys, and he might be about to lap Alex Dagu here, as he's certainly going to need to make another change for another front wing. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, bit of a nightmare for Alex Dagu. But we'll try and help him along the way to do better. And that's, he's off in the gravel trap on the left. Luckily he didn't take out Unzi, because that would have been a bit of a nightmare. Well, Ken get past Alex Dagu nicely. Hopefully, we've had a bit of issues in the past with blue flags with the back markers. So hopefully Dagu gets out of the way nicely. Usually he's quite good at getting out of the way. So I have to wait and see. Ken comes up behind him. Will Dagu get out of the way? It looks like he will. Ooh, that was close with Dagu there. Just about gets through. But Ken's now 10 seconds behind Unzi. So will these guys come into the pit soon? Is Unzi coming in? No, he's gone for another lap on those super softs, Matt. So that's 7 laps down, 4 to go.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to take him a long way in this race. And, if Sasemba potentially goes for a bit of an undercut, then it might actually work out for him, perhaps get back up a couple of seconds closer to the Toro Rosso. Sorry, not the Toro Rosso, the Sauber even there. But I think the battle we probably want to be on board with now is Some Nerd versus Faction Impala. Faction is closing in on him quite a bit at the moment, so perhaps, right towards the end of the race, we could actually see a very, very good little fight between these two, as well as Overrated Llama is closing in on the pair of them as well. So potentially 3-car battle for the podium around Spa. That could be quite a tasty little battle towards the end of the race. And, Jones is only a couple of seconds behind Llama as well.
Yeah, this could all come together right at the end. Very exciting for us to watch. Just looking at the race director, Matt, the top 4 runners have not pitted yet. And then you've got, of course, have Jonesy and Overrated Llama, who pitted early due to front wing damage. So those guys are on the soft. So it'll be interesting to see how their tyre wear will come into play towards the end of the race. I think these guys on the super soft will go on to ultra softs if they didn't use them in qualifying due to the wet weather. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys are doing. How is Unzi doing? He's coming round the last couple of corners of the lap. Will he be coming in to the pits. We'll have to wait and see. Very wide there. It'd be interesting to see how many people have got penalties as well, Matt, because this could come into play right at the end. And Undi is into the pits, Matt. Will Sisemba follow him in? This will be interesting. Ken is now... Ooh, Ken's made a mistake, Matt. He's now 19 seconds behind Undi. So I'm not quite sure how long the pit stop is in Belgium, but I think Ken may have bottled this race.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate if he has. In terms of the penalties, though, I can confirm that Alex Dagu has 6 seconds and Jonesy only has 3 there. So, actually, overall, I've been impressed. Most of them kept it very, very clean during this race. I think nearly everyone's got at least a warning now. But yeah, it's everyone's keeping it within the white lines most of the time, and that's very, very impressive to see. Faction and Parler, the gap now between him and Some Nerd is closed down another 2 seconds in at the last lap there, so he could be all over him right by the very end of this race. And Faction Impala, Overrated Llama, I keep getting those two mixed up, I can't think why, as the Haas car of Alex Dagu nearly bins it into Overrated Llama there. The Haas doing even more lawn mowing in this race. That's certainly not what Alex Dagu wanted there. He's completely wiped out some Pirelli advertising there. They will be absolutely fuming about that. Even more sponsorship out of the window there. They certainly won't want to be sponsoring the Hasses. What is Alex Dagu doing? This is certainly not the racing line through the bus stop there. He's got grass on his tyres. 8th gear to make sure, he can actually get the car going again, so he doesn't wheel spin everywhere. And that certainly, this has been, I think, far from the ideal race for Alex Dagu. He's nearly a lap down to the car in front of him there that is VS Rewinds.
Oh dear me. That's a noob journey for you, Matt. It's craziness at every turn. But after the pit stop phase, Some Nerd and Faction Pol have dropped 2 places. So you've got Overrated Llama now in 3rd and Jonesy in 5th. Sorry, Overrated Llama in 3rd, Jonesy's 4th. And Jonesy is only 4 seconds behind Overrated Llama. Both pitted on the same lap, I believe. So these guys will be should close up towards the end of the race. Did you say Jonesy had a penalty, Matt? From earlier
Jonesy
on?
does, yes.
Okay. Does Overrated Llama have any penalties, or is he okay?
He didn't last time I looked. I will have a quick look once again now. I think he only actually had 1 warning before this. Alex Dago, I think, has got a 3rd penalty. So, clearly not going too well for him still in this race. But yeah, Overrated Llama only has 1 warning, I think. So, he's kept it very, very clean during this race, which is quite a surprise for Overrated Llama from what I've raced with him.
Yeah, I think maybe some of his AOR practices has helped him out in today's races. Corsa has left the session. Do you remember, did Corsa retire? I don't remember him retiring at any point during the race, unless we've missed it. I can't
find him on track. I don't think he did retire. I think he might have just DC'd, but whatever. Oh, Alex Dagu! Oh, I just went on board with him as he absolutely flew at the wall there. Not really too sure what's gone on there down in towards the final sector, but Haas, they're going to have to be buying another front wing for that car there. He's going to set them bankrupt at this rate, but yeah. Alex Dagu, he's made a position at where Corsa's retired there, so if he can keep it, in the right direction, I think he's about to get lapped. Yeah, he's about to get lapped by the car in front of him at Rewinds. Whether he'll keep it clean, we'll have to wait and see there, but I think, oh, he does, he gets out of the way quite nice there. Corsa's back in the race, so I don't know where that's going to leave him overall, to be honest with you. But Unzi is only 2 laps to go, and he's now got a 30-second lead over Sisemba here, so this is turning into quite a dominant drive by Unzi, and hopefully I haven't just jinxed that for him.
Yeah, hopefully not. But he showed his pace around China last week in the wet. So 149 flat from Unzi, and Alex Dagu is finally retired from the race. Let's see if we can catch where he crashed. Let's get on board with oh no, Sisemba. Where did Alex Dagu? I believe he was in the bus stop chicane. Hopefully they'll still have. Where is he? I can't see him. Oh, come on, game. Show us where he crashed. I think it might have been on the pits. Oh, there he is. He's just going across the line, actually. So, unfortunately, Alex Dagu is out, and he won't be scoring points today, Matt. But everybody finishing now will receive points. So, Rewinds is in 7th currently, and he will get... I can't remember how many points 7th place gets, but he will
6
get
points.
So that's great for the back markers, with people not turning up today. And Cause has left the session again. So I'm not sure what is going on. I don't know if he completed half the race, because the way it works, if you complete half of the race, you will get the point. So I'm not sure if he did the whole race. I'll have to double check with him after the race. But
I'll tell you what, though. Oh,
go on.
Just sorry to interrupt you there, but Jonesy and Overrated Llama are now all over each other as they come down in towards Rouges. So 2 laps to go. This, now, you know, we spoke earlier that we thought it would be some nerd and factual fight for that podium position, but I think now it might be Overrated Llama and Jonesy. Jonesy's got the DRS up the Kemmel straight here, not opting to dive into the slipstream there. Not really too sure why you wouldn't want some of that cheeky slipstream. But yeah, he's all over the back of Llama, as he seems to be a little bit all over the place at the moment, Shook. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, definitely, Matt. And they're right next to each other here, going through Sector 2. And really close. Unzi does a new fast lap as he does he's onto his final lap now. We'll try and get back on board with him. But this battle is really intensifying now as they come down the hill. Is sweeping left-hander. Jonesy's all over the back of Llama. Will he wait until the DRS zone, or will he try and make a move? This will be interesting to see. And Overrated is a bit wide there. Jonesy, he's there. He's just got to wait until he gets some slipstream, or wait until Llama bottles it so he can get past. I think he might wait until the last lap to make a move. He goes, oh, Llama's very wide coming out of there. Jonesy is all over the back of him here. Will he make a move into the Bosch chicane? He's in the slipstream. Can he pull a move here? We'll have to wait and see. Can he do it? Llama goes very defensive there. And Llama's gone deep into the Bosch chicane. And will Jonesy get the cutback? He will have DRS coming over the finish straight here. Can he pull it off going into turn 1? They're on the last lap now. This is Jonesy's final chance to do it. He goes wide coming into turn 1. Just about both make it nicely through there. Now going to go Upper Rouge, and I think Jonesy, Matt, will use the DRS to overtake Overrated Llama on the last lap.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it at some point in this lap as well. If Llama makes one more mistake, gets another warning, then they will both have a penalty here. So Jonesy sort of needs to try and get the move done, and he's going to have a much better run and up the straight. Llama completely shuts the door on him there. He's going to try and have a look to the outsider. Unfortunately, not able to make that position stick for now. But yeah, if Llama does make one more small mistake, runs a bit wide as... Oh, Toby's so close to really pull it in the wall there. They would therefore effectively be fighting for the position again. Unzi comes through. Oh, and Toby's put it in the wall. He's completely bottled it there. He hasn't actually lost too much time from that. But Unzi, a dominant drive there in the end to come through to win that race.
Yeah, it came across. I didn't want to interrupt you because I knew that battle was on, so I made sure I was on board with Unzi and went across the line. But yeah, congratulations to Unzi for winning his first race in the NOOB journey. Last week got a penalty, P2, and we've got Sisemba coming across the line. So I believe that's his first second place finish. Some nerd has retired. Oh dear me, he was going to get a haul of points. But Ken comes across the line in P2. Jonesy is now in third, Matt. He's managed to get past.
Just watched that move. Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Llama ran wide and went all over the grass, and Toby's just taken the position there. I don't know if Llama's got a penalty from that. I'll quickly check on the race director once more. I don't think he has. No, he hasn't still. So I think Llama should still effectively get that podium. Well, I say unfortunately, obviously it's a podium for him and he'll be very happy with that. But over the line, Jonesy does actually take home P3 there. But unfortunately, due to that penalty, Llama will get the final podium place at Belgium. Yeah,
and we've got Faction Parla coming across the line to take 5th place. It was a very, very good haul of points of Faction Parla. And Charlie was disqualified, I think. Okay, these guys were already disqualified. Disqualified, retired, so that doesn't really matter. But wow, that was a brilliant race, Matt, to view from a spectator point of view. And just waiting for the grid to come up. We've got the podium celebration in multiplayer now, but there's a Sauber on the top spot, which is quite unrealistic, Matt. You know, we never would have seen that in real life. But both Mercedes are up there, which is rather more realistic. Cause is joining back and forth through the session as they celebrate with the champagne there. I'm sure Unzi is absolutely buzzing after his first race winner. He is top of the points because of Rod's retirement from the series, so he'll be celebrating a lot now. Here we go. Here's the final table. So Andy in first, Sember in second, Overrate Lama in third, Jonesy in fourth with a penalty because he would have got third, unfortunately. He would have got third, but unfortunately he had the penalty. But Faction Parlor is in fifth place, and that is it. Everybody else, Rewinds gets seventh, so we'll get points, and I think someone who finished 50%, so he will also get points. So yeah, good haul of points for everybody who actually finished, but yeah, a lot of retirements there, Matt, for round 2.
Yeah, I think on the whole, though, that was probably quite a good race. We saw quite a lot of battling up and down the field. But yeah, hopefully everyone did enjoy it. I can't thank you enough for, inviting me on to make almost a return back to the noob journey. I've missed it, certainly. Watching that race, I remembered why I wanted to be a part of it in the first place. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining me, Matt. It's been fantastic having another voice on the podcast rather than the brummy voice of Rixon. But yeah, thanks very much for joining me. So guys, thank you very much for watching today's episode of the Noob Journey around Spa. Don't forget to check out Matt212 channel. It will be in the description, and check out my channel as well, because this video is on Rixon's channel, I believe. So yeah, check everybody out, and check some of the guys who they also record their footage. So we'll try and put them in the comments below so you can see their footage as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week for round number 3. Good night.
Talking bands, I got it. Benjamins in my pocket. I traded my truth for some Robins, and he's playing Batman. Fatty's gonna rob him. I got the Glock in my Robin. 17 shots.